Hello and welcome back, guys and gals, to the Johnny Horror Podcast. It has been a piping hot minute since you've heard from us. We took an extended break during the holidays after we finished our run of M. Night Shyamalan originals, but we are back. It is early 2026. We are recording this in the second or third week of January. Not to date this episode, but we are going to talk about some of our favorite and least favorite films from last year. And by we, I of course mean myself, one of your hosts, Johnny Horror, and with me, my co-host, partner in crime, as always. Please introduce yourself and tell me, was 2025 your year?
What's up, everyone? Kalen Berryman here, resident handsome movie expert of the Johnny Horror Podcast. Yeah, brother, 2025 was a great year for movies. Hell yeah, it
For
was.
movies. That's the little asterisk there
Yeah,
for movies.
yeah.
Cool. I agree. I think we got some good ones this past year, and I'm really excited to talk about them, as well as some not so good ones. So basically, gang, we're gonna this is all gonna be a little loosey goosey, not as by the book as our usual episodes are. We are gonna start with the bad. We have three movies apiece that we are going to discuss for our bad movies, and these are not necessarily just bad movies. They may indeed be bad movies, but they
Mhm.
also could be movies that we were really looking forward to that might not have lived up to the hype, might not have done it for us for whatever reason. So we'll call those our three disappointments. Then we're going to jump onto the good stuff, talk about five of our favorite movies from this past year. And then we'll have a little bonus round of some other favorite things, whether it be favorite characters, favorite scenes, that sort of thing, after we finish up our five favorite movies. And we will round it all out with a couple of movies that we're looking forward to this coming year. So, without any further ado, because I feel like I will be doing plenty of talking for the next 2 hours, most likely, we're going to get this show on the road. So we are going to start with the shit. Kalen, please tell me one movie that disappointed you in 2025.
Yeah. So Johnny already covered this, but I'm just gonna give the very quick disclaimer that when we talk about movies that disappoint us, we are not like going after people or hating on anyone. We're literally just like expressing like films that we might have been excited about or thought had potential that just didn't land the way we wanted them to. In some cases, we might even be talking about good movies, even objectively good movies that just weren't what we wanted from them. So just saying, this is not a negativity podcast. That said, the first movie on my list is going to be Die My Love. Johnny, have you seen or heard of Die My Love?
That is the Jennifer Lawrence Robert Pattinson one. Is that correct?
It is. It is. So this is a film that is based on a novel. It is a European novel. I can't remember the country of origin. I have not read the novel. I don't really know anyone that has. But it's produced by Jennifer Lawrence and Martin Scorsese.
Hmm.
And it's directed by Lynn Ramsey, who was last seen directing Joaquin Phoenix in that film You Were Never Really Here, where he plays
Yeah.
like a cleaner slash hitman kind of thing. I
Yeah.
thought that movie was pretty cool.
Yeah, me too.
So seeing it's produced by Scorsese, not even executive produced, he's like the PGA producer on this movie, and directed by Lynn Ramsey, and that it was starring an incredible cast. It had Jennifer Lawrence, Robert Pattinson, Lakeith Stanfield,
Oh
Nick
yeah.
Nolte, and
Jesus.
Sissy Spacek.
Yeah, that's a
So
cast right there.
an insane cast and insane talent behind it. And I was just so excited for this movie. It definitely looked like an indie movie. It definitely looked like one for kind of nerdy cinephiles who like weird, slow shit. But when I finally got around to watching this movie, which was pretty recently, um, I was so disappointed. It didn't feel to me like it ever got anywhere. Other than being a vehicle for these talented actors to do scenes where they showed off that they were talented actors. But on like a story level, on an emotional level, it never got anywhere for me. It just didn't get to anything. It was painfully boring
Hmm.
and felt like there was no payoff, no resolution, no real arcs, no real anything. Just a bunch of people I really like on screen.
That's a bummer. Yeah, I had heard mixed reviews. Now, remind me, it has to do with postpartum, is that right? Like postpartum depression, is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. Um yeah, I didn't see it, it's not those type of movies, I feel like unless it is a massively celebrated film, like One Battle After Another is a good example of a movie that I saw the trailers for and I was like, "Oh, PTA, Leo, that'll be great." Don't really have any interest in seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really bad coming from a person who really, really enjoys movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I just feel like that might be like those Oscar movies, which I just don't go in for as much anymore. Uh,
Absolutely.
but because just there's not one person that I read or heard from that said anything other than One Battle After Another is an amazing film. So I'm like, fuck, okay, I guess I'll fucking watch it. And,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I'll keep my thoughts on it to myself for now, just in
Mm-hmm.
case, that comes up later. But yeah, because that film, I think right out the gate had some pretty mixed reviews, I was not too concerned with catching it, even though I am a big Rob Pattinson fan.
Mm-hmm.
More so than Jennifer Lawrence, as great as she is, but
Sure.
Robert Pattinson is my boy, and I really do enjoy watching him act. So
Yeah. And he's good in it, for the record.
yeah, yeah,
He's
I
very
wouldn't
good.
expect anything less from the two of them.
Mhm. It's just the material. A great cast just couldn't lift the material up to where it needed to be. Or for that matter, I'll even say a great director.
Yeah,
Um, there just wasn't the story there. Yeah,
that's a bummer.
it really was.
Um, okay, so for me again, it was a little hard for me to pick movies that either disappointed me or I thought were flat out bad because I didn't see as many movies this year as I have in the past, like new movies, I should say. I made a point of watching a lot of old movies this past year, but I didn't go out of my way to watch lot of new ones. And the ones that I did see, I either knew were going to be good already, that I had to see, or that I heard, like, as I uh, told before, I had heard really, really positive feedback. So there was a movie, however, that I was really looking forward to based on a little gameplay that I had done with a buddy of ours, TK. He had showed me this video game years and years and years ago. He told me, he's like, dude, you'll love this video game. I know you don't like video games, but even you have to check this one out. And so I did. I remember playing a little bit of it. Was very lost on what to do, but I remember the experience of playing it with him. And when the movie trailer came out, I was very excited for this, and that was a film called Until Dawn, in which a group of people find themselves locked in a house and they keep dying and resetting and having to figure out how to escape this sort of limbo that they're in, basically. I think it's a great premise for a video game. The movie looked awesome, and I was really excited to watch it, even though I kind of heard mixed stuff. It came to Netflix pretty quick, actually. So I watched it on there. And yeah, man, there's such a cool concept there. And I like a lot of the execution. It was directed by David S. Sandberg, I believe,
Mhm.
of the
Lights Out, right?
Lights Out,
Lights Out
of
and Shazam.
course, and the Shazam movies.
Mhm.
And oh, he also did probably my favorite Annabelle movie as well. And yeah, man. So I was excited for him getting back to his horror roots because I think he's good at directing horror. And I think the direction here is pretty okay. What is a big failure is the script and the cast. I think again there is a very very solid idea for a film, for a story, but the setup is pretty decent and about half of the movie is pretty good, but the back half is just the conclusion is weak and the characters are just so bland. They're so bland. I particularly the final girl. I just have this problem now with final girls that are they just have no character. Like they're looking that they either their parent died and that's their whole backstory, or they're like the good college student with some sort of traumatic incident in their past and that's just their whole thing. And that was this main character. She's like looking for her sister disappeared, and she's just lame. She's not a character worth rooting for, and I feel like again there's a lot of these sorts of leads in these kind of middle of the road horror movies, especially when they're like ensembles and it does deal with like a final girl. So that was a big disappointment for me. I remember just like being halfway through and being like, I just don't care. Like almost any other person in that cast could be the lead of this movie and I would care more about them than the main girl. So that was I don't know, man.
Do you
Have
know?
you experienced that at all with any did you see it Until Dawn?
Yeah, yeah, I did. Do you know who led that movie?
I can find out really quick if you'll
Okay.
give me a
Yeah, yeah.
moment, but please while I'm
Um,
doing that, you tell me your thoughts.
I've never played Until Dawn, and I did have some excitement, some interest in the film. Um, Really, I just wanted to see David F. Sandberg getting back to horror and just kind of see what
Mhm.
he would do there. Um, and yeah, so I was excited about it based on that. I ended up really not caring for it, and honestly, I kind of forgot that that movie happened by like the following day. And I'm not saying that in like a mean way, just like literally, like that movie was so forgettable to me. I thought the actual horror in the film was pretty good, like pretty scary stuff happened. Like the things that happened were scary. The horror moments were scary. But at a certain point, I actually think I turned to my girlfriend and said, "This is a gag reel.
Yeah.
This isn't like a horror story. This is a watch us do horror gags after horror gags after horror gags without earning any of them,
Yeah.
and just look at how cool our horror gags are." And it's just like that's not interesting. Like, um, I'm trying to think of like a way to explain that. Like any other movie, like an action movie that's literally just a car chase sequence followed by another car chase sequence. It's followed by another car chase sequence with nothing to earn them is not entertaining.
Well, I feel like I can elaborate on that a little bit.
Mhm.
It's because there's no stakes
Right.
for any of
Yeah.
our characters because they can die and come back to life. And there is like a ticking clock, but you just don't. And I mean, they go back to the clock, but you don't feel the numbers clicking down. It doesn't
Mhm.
feel like there's a lot at stake.
Mhm.
I don't really get this vibe that these characters, and it's also a matter of making you like your characters. I think that's a hard thing to do when you're dealing with probably what is let me see here. Yeah, in like an hour 40 basically with
God, but it felt like 3 hours.
yeah, it dude, I watched this movie in like three different parts, man. At least
Yeah.
three different parts.
Mhm.
Um but to answer your question, the actress who played the lead was a gal named Ella Rubin. I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, the one of the side characters, her name is Odessa Azon.
Right. And
A
she's having a
Zion,
pretty big year, right?
and she's got a hit TV show that she's on. She was
Right.
in the new Hellraiser movie that came out a couple years
Yep.
ago. Like
She's in
10
Marty's
times
Cocoon.
more charismatic
Right.
than, and I mean, no offense to that
Mhm.
gal. I'm sure it has a lot more to do with the writing. Again, these girls are just written bland so they can be avatars for whoever, which is not really a great way to write characters as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Agreed.
But anyhow, that movie was a bit of a letdown. Again, I wasn't going into it with the highest expectations, but yeah, as you said, it felt longer than it was. And again, I really do feel like that comes down to the back half just not moving quickly enough, not making us feel the countdown, the ticking clock of it all. I'm sorry. I have someone who wants to say hi. Want to say hi?
Hello.
Word up, Killer B. How you doing, pal?
He says, "How you doing?"
Good.
Yeah.
It's time for bed, huh? All right. I love you.
Bye, Killian.
Wait, no, don't wave to me. Wave to Uncle Kalen.
Hello.
Goodbye,
Come
buddy.
here. Wave. Say goodnight.
Hello. Good night.
Good night, pal.
All right.
I'll see you
Get out of
soon.
here. Love you, buddy.
10K. This isn't a 10K.
Sorry, he's picking up a medicine ball now.
Attaboy. He is his father's son for sure.
All right.
He's like, wait, I gotta work out real quick.
Just gotta get a quick one in.
Get a quick one. You guys have got 8 minutes. I gotta work out.
Sorry for the digression there, ladies and gentlemen, but
I
am
never
a
apologize for
dad at
Killian.
all hours. What are you gonna do?
He does not mean he's sorry. He means you're welcome.
Yeah, that is correct. My good man, please take her away. What is another movie that disappointed you in 2025?
Yeah. So be another movie you haven't seen, and it might offend you a little bit. But I'm sorry. I just don't. I really don't want to get names wrong when we're putting stuff on
No,
the internet, and sometimes I do.
That's fair.
Yeah. So it's The Materialists for me.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Did you like The
Dakota
Materialists?
Johnson is a goddess.
Uh-huh. I
How
know you
dare you
think
say
so.
one bad word about her?
Hey, you know what? It's funny. You and all of the executives in Hollywood seem to agree on that. And mass delusion is a thing. So this is from Celine's song, And she had a movie a couple of years ago. Was it called Past Lives? It got a lot of hype. It was one of those like sort of award season types of movies, and a lot of people really liked it. I didn't get around to it. It didn't look super interesting to me personally, but a lot of people liked it. And she came into this movie with a lot of hype, and I was excited about this movie because I really like Chris Evans, and I really like Pedro Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
And without meaning to be mean at all, the only good things about this movie were Chris Evans and Pedro Pascal. And everything else, aside from, I'm not saying all the side characters were like bad actors or anything, but pretty much everything else was quite mediocre and sometimes just downright poor. The script did not work for me. I kept coming out of scenes being like, that was really how you wanted to write that scene? Like that was it? Like that couldn't have used another pass? Like you didn't have a screenwriter friend you could have shown that to double check that? Like there was a lot of scenes where I was a little bit baffled, a little bit dumbfounded by the way the scenes were written, by the way the dialogue was written, where I was just like kind of surprised and taken aback. Like that, like the concept isn't even necessarily bad, but just like the execution just like should have been better. Like in I feel like in most movies it would be. And so I was a little bit like surprised at how disappointed I was with some of the dialogue and some of the writing in the movie. And this lead role is a role that for it to have had any chance, it needed to be someone who was a really, really strong actor. And I can only think of like 3 movies I've seen Dakota Johnson in. But in the last 2, she's abysmal. Like
I'm assuming that one of these 2 is Madam Web.
It sure is. It sure is. It's oh boy, it's Madam Web.
I can't believe we watched that movie.
Hey man, I told you that movie is a few less executives and a few actor swap outs from being kind of interesting. But in this movie, like this is a role where she's talking a lot and she's delivering a lot of speeches and she's delivering a lot of monologues and she's got a lot of heavy dialogue scenes with the other actors, and you just needed somebody that was going to crush this role, that was going to crush these lines. And she just doesn't. She's just monotonous and unemotional and just doesn't hit her marks at all. And the part that makes it difficult is that like when she's acting across from Chris Evans, he's killing it. He's slaying it. He's excellent. And then when she's acting across from Pedro Pascal, he's killing it. He's amazing. And the contrast is so stark that it really hurts the movie. And for a movie where, like I said from earlier, that the story, the script, the dialogue wasn't really up to par. You also have these incredibly uneven performances and these scenes that are acted in such an uneven way that it left me with a movie that I just felt like was kind of a mess. And something that people were talking about, like it was going to be like best picture of the year. And I just, I didn't see it.
If you had to fill that role, that Dakota Johnson role, with another actress, who would you pick?
It's a good question. I'm trying to think proper age range. Well, like just to give you like an example, like a rough example, like I think like Emily Blunt would have killed it, but like of course she would have, right? She's great. I think like someone like a Florence Pugh would have killed it. I'm trying to think of an actress who's specifically like right around 35, and I'm drawing a little bit of a blank.
I feel like you're not too far off base with Florence Pugh.
Right. Like I think she would have been great. Actually, I think Florence Pugh would have been great in this movie with this character who is kind of supposed to be vulnerable. And Dakota Johnson's not vulnerable. And she's certainly not vulnerable in this film. And by the way, it sounds like I'm just completely trashing Dakota Johnson. I think she's funny. Like I think she has like this very effective dry delivery and like this sort of comedic stoicism that's very good. And I think she could have like really good comedic chops in like those kinds of movies. But just based on this, I don't see a dramatic actor there.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I know exactly what you're saying about the, Chris Evans and Pedro Pascal of it all, because I did watch the movie because that's my girlfriend and I support her. But no, I was like, yeah, three beautiful people in a what looks to be like a half decent romantic dramedy. Like, cool, sign me up, man. Like, we don't really get those anymore. Back in the 90s they were a dime a dozen. Even in the early 2000s you probably got some of those. We just don't get those movies anymore. So I was like, cool,
True.
this seems like a throwback. I'll check it out. I enjoyed the movie for what it was, especially because it was just like, oh, fuck it. It was that, or what else? I was like torn between that and whatever else. And I was just like, you know what? This is gonna be light and fun and it's got beautiful people in it. I'll fucking watch it. But yeah, I think back specifically to like the scene at the post-wedding thing between Dakota Johnson and Chris Evans when they're kind of, having their last little bout of why they don't belong together, sort of a deal. And yeah, I feel that there is a lack of emotionality on her part where I really relate to the Chris Evans character quite a bit. This, hopeless artist,
Yep.
basically, who is never gonna quite hit it big, but he still like loves the love of his life. Like I really relate to that quite a bit. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. Again, like I'm I can't argue with you. I agree that like the dramatic aspect of it, not 100%. That being said, I don't I'm not watching it for that. So I didn't go into it with nearly the expectations that I think you did. I don't really have high expectations for romantic movies anyways. I kind
Mhm.
of it's when I watch a romantic movie, for me it's like when middle-aged women read smut. It's just kind of
Mhm.
like, this is nonsense that's highly entertaining to me
Mhm.
if it's a good one. And this was fine. This is nothing. I didn't feel like I lost anything, but almost right away, same thing that you said about Until Dawn, like I forgot, because when
Right.
you
I
when you
forgot
said
the
it right
idea.
away, I was like, no, wait, I did see that. But yeah, I get it, especially going into it. I remember seeing the trailers thinking that it looked like it was being sold as this highbrow
Mhm.
romantic thing,
The thing is, I think it thinks it is a highbrow romantic thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Uh well, to follow that up, I will go with a movie that I've been sitting with for a while, and there was two like big action movies this year that I was really looking forward to, and I saw both of them with our buddy Brian. And the one in question, we told ourselves, we kept on saying we're going Tom Cruising. That was what we said when we were going to go see this movie. And it is, of course, Mission Impossible 8, The Final Reckoning. Uh to say this movie is a disappointment is kind of weird coming out of my mouth, because this movie is pretty incredible from start to finish. But it is exhausting to a fault. This movie starts basically saying that we are very, very close to approaching nuclear apocalypse, and then it just keeps on ramping up from there. That's like how you start your fucking movie. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Um,
Sounds like Mission Impossible in the 2020s.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot, man. It's just exhausting. It's like set piece after set piece. And don't get me wrong, they're incredible. Tom Cruise is incredible, but and the stakes are higher than they've ever been, but it felt so redundant, like so many things we've seen before. And Dead Reckoning Part 1, because this was supposed to be Dead Reckoning Part 2 before Dead Reckoning Part 1 didn't do so hot.
Right.
Dead Reckoning Part 1 already felt like that. It already felt like a greatest hits. And this just felt like another greatest hits dialed up to 11 to the point of just, okay, we need to get it over with. And this is like a damn near 3-hour movie of just, okay, Tom Cruise is going to drown. Tom Cruise is going to fall. Tom Cruise is going to get shot. The world is going to die. Like, exhausting to the point of like when we got done with the movie, we just like looked at each other like, what the fuck, man? Jesus Christ. That was an anxiety attack for 3 hours. And I don't know, man. It felt like all spectacle and no substance, basically.
Mhm.
And I knew like right then and there that was a movie I would never go back to. And I have enjoyed all the Mission Impossible movies in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty great franchise, and even these last two movies are pretty incredible for the spectacle aspect of it. But I felt like the story was done when they got to Fallout, the sixth one. I think that was kind of the peak of the franchise. Everything they did in that movie was top tier, 10 out of 10. The story was good, the action was good, the stunts were amazing. And I feel like they've been kind of chasing that high with those last two movies again, just spectacle for spectacle's sake, dialing the energy up way past what it should be. But I don't know. Have you seen the last couple of Mission Impossible movies?
Somehow, and I really can't explain it, I have not seen The Final Reckoning. I did see Dead Reckoning, but I have not seen this one. I really don't know how that happened. I intended to go see it at the movies. I missed a few movies at the theater this year that I fully intended to see in the theater just because like time wasn't working.
Yeah.
But I really don't have an explanation as to how I haven't seen it now, like up until now. But I never got around to this one. I think partly because everyone I know was so lukewarm on it that I just haven't been in a hurry to watch it.
Yeah.
I do love this franchise. I love these characters. I've loved this Mission Impossible since the first one. Like, I was counting down the days to watching the first one back in the 90s as like a little itty bitty boy.
Damn.
So I've always loved Mission Impossible. I like J.J. Abrams' reboot. I didn't love the John Woo one. I'm not going to lie. I like the J.J. Abrams.
It's not great.
Yeah, I like the J.J. Abrams threequel though, and then from there it was like Brad Bird took over, and then we got,
dude,
Acquired for the out.
That trifecta of Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout. Those three are like 10 out of 10 movies for me.
Yeah,
I think they're all incredible.
Great action movies, man. Great action movies. Yeah.
So, and even like I said, there's quite a bit I like about Dead Reckoning Part 1, but do you also feel that it does start to feel redundant and that there is a greatest hits aspect to it?
Yeah. I feel like by the time we get to Dead Reckoning that like the story's over, but they're not quite sure how to.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants it to be over. No one really wants to wrap it up. No one really knows quite how to, and you want to keep it going. But like, yeah, it really felt like we were at the end of the rope. Like we were kind of done.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
it is, both those movies feel like, for me at least, that they did too much cocaine. The sun is coming up and they're not quite ready to peter off. Everybody else has gone home and it's just a group of people still trying to hold on to the night, you know?
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, well, we'll have to talk and exchange notes when you do get around to watching it.
Absolutely.
All right. What is your third and final, maybe most disappointing movie of 2025?
Well, this is to the audience here. This is a little tough for me to pick these movies. I'm gonna have to say, I have two movies here, and it's really hard to choose which one here. I'm gonna say Eddington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think Hereditary is one of the best horror movies since the turn of the century. I think it's incredible. I think it's pretty much a masterpiece. It's perfectly written, it's perfectly executed from a directorial standpoint, and it's perfectly performed. It's just a goddamn masterpiece. I think that Ari Aster is annoyingly talented. Like, I think that man is so incredibly gifted as a screenwriter, as a filmmaker, as a storyteller. I think he's a genius. I hate him. I think he's so talented. I hate him. But I do not think he's lived up to that movie at all since that movie. And more frustratingly is I think he's shown the flashes of the same talent each time and just not lived up to it one time since. Not to get into other movies, but for example, I think Beau is Afraid up into a certain point in the movie was like right there of like, man, this is incredible. And then it just like intentionally crashes the car. Eddington is another example, I think, of Ari Aster getting too cute by half and wanting to impress his, it's like the guy wants to impress his classmates and his professors from film school more than he wants to make a movie that actually works for people. And Eddington to me is another example of that. There's a lot of good in this movie. I'm sorry, have you seen Eddington?
No, I have not, and I haven't seen Beau is Afraid either. I'll just interject here really quick,
Please do.
and then you can continue on because I felt the same way about him. Like basically, kind of like after I saw Midsommar, like I was like, okay, this guy's good. He knows he's good though,
Yep.
and I'm feeling like these movies that he's making are not they're not for me. Like, don't get me wrong, like I love Hereditary. I think it's great. The 1-2 punch with that and Midsommar, I was like, okay, like I see the horror of it and they are excellent films. I will not argue that, but I'm like, he's very he's too smart for me. He's too ish for me. And then I heard Beau's Afraid was kind of meh, and then I heard Eddington was kind of meh. So I'm like, oh, okay, we'll see if he brings it back. But I haven't been super inclined to go see either one of those latter movies.
You're being
Continue.
polite. You're being polite. He's not too smart for you. He's too pretentious for you. That's what you're really saying.
Yeah.
And he's getting a little too pretentious for me too. And again, I'm saying this as like a huge fan. Like if I met Ari Aster, I'd be like, "Hey, dude, you're the man. Like you are an incredibly talented person.
Yeah, absolutely.
I admire you a lot."
He is. He absolutely is.
He totally is. So this is not me trashing Ari Aster, the human being or the artist. I just think that like he has this sort of hipsterish need to be different to the degree that his stuff gets silly and masturbatory and unsatisfying.
Yeah.
And once you make something unsatisfying, like something can be unsatisfying in a way that makes a satisfying film overall.
Yeah.
But when you're just making things unsatisfying because you're just trying to flex to everybody that you understand what makes things satisfying and you refuse to conform or whatever, now you're just like spending $70 million to make a movie that like people don't like that much and like nobody goes to see. And that's
Yeah.
what happened with Beau is Afraid, a movie that failed at the box office and got worse reviews than his first two movies. And that's what happened with Eddington, that failed at the box office and got worse reviews than his first three movies.
Yeah.
I just think he's trying too hard to be different. He's trying too hard to be a cutie, and he's not trying hard enough to make movies that actually fundamentally work before he gets cute with everything.
Yeah.
And to say all of that, there's so much about Eddington that's good. There's so much about it that's good. A lot of the dialogue is great. Like a lot of the screenplay, and particularly the dialogue and interpersonal scenes, are very, very strong. The humor is incredible. Like it's funny. This movie is hilarious. It takes place during 2020. It's a very like snapshot of America, like American politics and the way that American people act and the way the internet was during 2020 and all that. And it really lampoons everybody hard, and it's very funny about it. It really is. It's very funny at making fun of us and our existence. And I've heard people call it live action South Park. And
Oh wow.
in terms of the humor, I agree with that. I think it really does a good job of being a funny mirror to everyone. But that said, the story just isn't satisfying, and it just doesn't land. It doesn't have a satisfying ending or conclusion in any way, and it does weird things for the sake of being weird, and it just never wraps up into a satisfying package, despite having so many strong parts. Another thing too is there's such a strong cast. You have Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal as like the leads in this movie, and they're great. Of course they are. They always are. Emma Stone is in this movie. Austin Butler is in this movie. And I'm sure I'm leaving some people out. Like it's a really stacked cast, and they do their jobs very well. And I think that's part of why I'm so disappointed, is because great screenwriter, director, great cast, great performances, strong writing, great jokes in a movie that ultimately disappointed me, and I don't know if I'll ever watch again.
Yeah. Well, I have a complicated relationship with my biggest disappointment this year as well, because it was the second movie I got to see with my son in the theater, and I think I'll cherish that memory quite a bit. I know he will, because this is already a movie that he has wanted to go back to quite a bit. And it's kind of heartbreaking for me because it's exactly the movie you want your little boy to fall in love with, because it's the movie that you fell in love with when you were a little boy. But your version is, to say is superior is just nonsensical. It's on a whole other plane. But yeah, Jurassic World Rebirth. God, just what a fucking wet fart of a movie, man. You know?
Yes, I do know. Yeah.
I mean, my God, like there's just zero stakes in this movie. We're making up shit about how you need blood from a water dinosaur and blood from a flying dinosaur and blood
And
from a
that'll cure
walking
heart disease.
Yeah, and that'll
That'll
do
cure
it.
heart disease. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, like come on, gang. Like I understand this is the world in which like you can train raptors to be your best buddy, but fucking A, man. Like let's try and have some basis in reality. And again, I mean like they kill the fucking cool concept. They keep on doing it. Dinosaurs, real world, do that.
I know.
Fucking do that. Like
I
they
know. It's
fucking
not
shit
that.
on it in
Yeah.
like 3 different goddamn movies.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're gonna do this, and then they don't. Um, yeah, man. everyone sucks in this movie. Like, for me to even say that, you know, ScarJo sucks is but she does, and I think we
I'm sorry, I
talked
keep
about
laughing.
this.
It's funny.
No, I mean it's laughable. That's the
Yeah.
thing, is that, and then this movie made billions of dollars too. So there's gonna be another one.
Oh
Like,
hell yeah, there is. You better believe it.
but it's just like, who are these characters? They're no one. They have no personality. It feels very Marvel-y in the way that people talk, and everything's got to be a quip. Everything's got to be a quip. You can't just have real people having real conversations.
Dude, ScarJo is literally written like a generic Marvel character.
Mm-hmm.
Not like Black Widow, but just like generic character C in a Marvel movie. She's written just like that. And Mahershala Ali, and I said this to Sandy at some point during the movie, I'm like, his whole character is, my kid died.
Yep.
My kid died. Like that's his character. And it's like you have these incredibly talented actors in these like paper thin roles. Yeah.
But I mean, my God, their paychecks were phenomenal,
God bless them.
Yeah. But here's the thing though, man, like, Jaws the Revenge, right? One of the all-time like trashed movies for it being like so bad. And Michael Caine has been famously quoted of saying, I've never seen the movie, but I have seen the house that it's built, and it's phenomenal. Michael Caine has more depth and more character and more personality in Jaws the Revenge, and he is just not even trying. It is a bad performance, but it is so much more interesting than any performance in Jurassic World Rebirth. Can we talk about the title really quick? What's being rebirthed?
What's been rebirthed? Like, what are we talking about?
Please. The mutant dinosaurs are fucking weird and dumb, and I just dinosaurs are scary by themselves, man. Dinosaurs are scary.
Thank you. You don't have to make up dinosaurs for dinosaurs to be interesting and scary and cool. You just don't have to do that.
Yeah. The best scene is the raft scene on the river with the T-Rex, because that T-Rex is fucking scary.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
But yeah, man, that movie was it was a piece of shit.
You got Jonathan Bailey, and he's just like, I'm a nerd. I'm such a nerd. Like,
yeah, just like,
you know what I mean? There's like, scientists, we're nerdy and effeminate, and we're upset about things because we're scientists. Like, just
shut the fuck
caricatures,
up, man.
Yeah.
And dude, the product placement in that movie is so, I don't know if I've seen a movie where it is just so blatant. You're just being slapped in the face with it every 30 seconds. If it's not a fucking Snickers bar, it's a goddamn Altoids container.
Yep.
And somehow they managed to have a whole fucking
all the chips and
liquor store, convenience store in the middle of the goddamn jungle.
I was watching that. I was like, wait a minute, why do they have Cheetos? Like,
yeah,
like, I understand that they would have like food available to eat, but like, why would you have a store for people to buy chips at like a convenience style store?
Yeah,
on an island, like on a jungle island of dinosaurs.
You're gonna make your people pay for shit,
right,
at their job on like the fucking.
You're going to hire a person to fly out of society to the middle of a dinosaur jungle to work at a convenience store for you on the island. It's such nonsense.
Oh my God. We could, maybe we will, but we could do an entire podcast on the stupidity of that movie, but we have to move on. It's already an hour. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
All right. So those were our 6 total least favorite movies. So Kalen, just for the audience, will you regurgitate your 3 least favorite movies that you had?
So mine were The Materialist and Eddington and what did I say first? Die My Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And mine were uh, Until Dawn, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and Jurassic Park: Rebirth. All right. Now that we're done with the shit, it's on to the good stuff. Let's talk about 5 movies that we liked in 2025. Kalen, take her away.
All right. So just to be clear here, folks, this was impossible for me. Johnny is laughing at me because I'm just like 5. Like I need 17 movies because there's so much this year that I loved and I wanted to talk about. So this is really just 5 movies I loved. It's not necessarily the top 5. It's just like here are 5 movies I loved.
No. This list has to be definitive. God damn
It's
it.
actually no, yeah, actually it's objective. If you disagree with me, you're wrong and I'm right.
There we go.
No, but just 5 movies I really loved this year and I wanted to talk about. And hopefully a little bit different than some of the lists you guys are seeing out there because this year I don't know if you pay attention, if you watch movie talk channels or anything like that.
Not
Really.
Not a lot. I
Okay.
mean, like I listen to my favorite podcast. Shout out to Halloweenies.
Hey,
But
Halloweenies.
like, and then I watch some clips on YouTube. You know, maybe a little bit of Cinefix here and there. Watch
Sure.
like list movies, but I don't watch like people talking about movies too much.
Okay. So I watch movies social media a lot. And this year in particular has been the most boring end of year discussion I've ever seen in my entire life.
Like the same.
Like
5
the most
movies.
lame, boring. Like everyone just congealed into one hive mind and has the same top 10 list in slightly different order. Or you'll have like podcasts that like make their whole living talking about like horror movies and superheroes. And like at the end of the year, it's like the only 2 horror movies they have on their list are Sinners and Frankenstein because those are the like acceptable cinephile ones.
Yeah.
And then they have just like a whole list of like awards contenders, and they're like trying to come off as these like erudite cinephiles and I'm just like, I watched your show, bro. I know what movies you're interested in. This is not your list. You're not that guy.
Yeah.
And as an actual erudite cinephile, I just want to tell you people that you fucking bore me.
Oh,
so that
baby,
said,
we're getting it going tonight.
That said, the first movie on my list is Bring Her Back.
Hell yeah.
This is made by the Filippo brothers. Apparently, these young men are they are social media guys. I'm not familiar with them as social media guys.
Yeah, YouTube guys, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, cool. My understanding was that they were pretty popular. They came out with a movie a few years back called Talk to Me, which if you're a regular listener of the podcast, you know that I was not a fan of at all. I thought that movie, that's right. We agreed on that one.
Yeah.
I thought that movie didn't really land. I didn't think it had a good enough story to carry what it was doing. And it just felt pretty flimsy to me. The whole thing felt pretty flimsy to me. But I said to Johnny, and I think we agreed on this. I said, but I'm very interested in seeing what they do next because I think these guys have potential.
Yeah.
Well, I think they really showed it with Bring Her Back because this is a movie that is grounded in a real story with real characters, with real emotions, with real stakes and consequences. It's terrifying. It's consistently engaging. It's disturbing and sad and hopeful and heartening and a real whirlwind of a little messed up horror movie that really impressed the hell out of me. Johnny, you obviously saw this movie, right?
Yeah, I will just echo those sentiments. There's a lot that I did like about Talk to Me. The conceit is pretty cool. I just had a major problem with the lead character. I felt she was so unlikable. So unlikable that when, itty bitty spoilers here, that when she does meet her fate at the end of the movie, I was like, cool, got what you deserved. Fuck off. End of story.
Yeah.
And that feeling could not be further from what I felt for our lead characters in Bring Her
1000%.
Back. Like I was terrified and scared for them. Get the fuck out of the house. Get the fuck out of the house. Whatever you do. And just the performances. Sally Hawkins is just,
dude, she's incredible.
so goddamn good. Not only is she charismatic and charming, she's scary and desperate, and as a parent I can't help
Relatable.
but sympathize
Right. Yeah.
with her plight. Like it is gut-wrenching, and what happens to the little family at the heart of this story is really, really hard to watch unfold. But
Yeah.
my God, it is a horror movie. What we watch unfold is horrific, and
Absolutely.
there's the fucking cantaloupe scene to top it all off.
Dude, for real. For real. And the thing is too, is you have these two kids who are unknowns. I mean, you have three kids. You have the two kids that are the heart of the movie are these two unknown, like, Australian kids. I actually don't know their names, but a young man, a young lady who is actually visually impaired.
Oh.
Yeah, please. A young lady who's actually visually impaired playing a character who's visually impaired, and they play these siblings who clearly love each other so much and are going through something so harrowing, and they're being manipulated, and these two nobody kids who's no one's ever heard of just nail this role.
Yeah. The character of Andy, the brother, is played by Billy Barrett, and the actress who plays Piper, his adopted sister, is a young actress named Sora. That is Sora Wong. Sora Wong.
Sora Wong. Shouts to those two, because they have no credits I've ever heard of, and they just kill it in this movie. They're so good. So impressive. Really got me completely emotionally invested in the outcomes for these characters. Sally Hawkins manages to play a monster and manages to get my sympathy at the same time.
Yeah.
And that little boy, without spoiling it, that was bothering me the whole movie. But the conclusion, the last shot of him, messed me up, dude.
Yeah.
Because at that moment, you're like, oh, right. Right.
Yeah.
I hope you know what I'm talking about. If not, that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, excellent film. Really put me through the emotional ringer. One of the movies from this year that I think is actually going to stand the test of time for me. And Filippo Brothers, whatever you guys do next, I'm there day one.
Seriously, dude. I'm really excited. There's rumors of them doing a sequel to Talk to Me Next, and I really hope they do something else first.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay. So I imagine you're gonna have this one on your list. So if you want to chime in and talk about it now, you can. But for me, my number 5 for the year is Weapons. This is a movie that, man, I tried so hard not to know anything about going into.
Mhm.
And I'm so glad I did, because it was one of the most enjoyable, just like first watches I can remember. Just so much of the time, I feel like when you're watching a movie, you're like, okay, but what happens next? What happens next? Okay, on to the next thing. And this is a movie that, while there was that, okay, what's the lingering question? What's going on? The way that the film is broken down into chapters, and those chapters deal with specific characters in a very Tarantino-esque way of seeing the other side of a story. Basically, you see what happens to one character, and then it'll shift to another character, and you'll see how that character's interactions with the previous character all come into play. Just watching all these characters, all these actors do their thing in a movie that was, I thought, originally supposed to be very scary, and at times it is very scary and very unnerving. One of the most unnerving scenes of the year for me was in Weapons when Julia Gardner's character is in the car and she sees the woman approach her
Oh
from
man,
across the street. And that was
yeah.
peripheral horror is the scariest thing for me. We've talked about this before on this podcast. I've talked about it at length on podcasts and movie reviews, that seeing something far away just get closer slowly but surely is a terrifying thing for me.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
But all that said, this movie's really funny. Like really funny in a way that is just people being people.
Mhm.
And what's his name? What's Han Solo's name here? Remind me. It's something that I can't.
Alden Einrich. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Einreich if you're being German, but yeah, Alden Einrich.
Yeah, man. His turn as Paul, the kind of douchebag piece of shit cop who just keeps on getting stabbed with needles. Oh man. I had so much fun with this movie, and you and I kind of both bonded over it. You gave me a copy of the 4K for my birthday, and I gave you a special shirt, a weapon shirt for your birthday. So I think this is a movie that we both enjoyed this year.
Definitely.
Do you want to elaborate, or you want to wait until
No, this is my next movie, so let's just talk about it.
Yeah, please.
So it's funny, you mentioned how Alden's character was like this douchebag cop. I don't even think I think that he was just trying to write him as a cop, honestly. I don't think he was trying to make him a particularly bad one. I think he was just like, hey man, stuff like this happens. Because there are scenes where he's pretty he's got moments where he seems pretty human and pretty relatable and like a pretty normal guy, right?
No, and that's honestly the thing, is that when we see these characters in movies, we go, shame, but like, dude, like he's one of the most believable human beings.
Yes,
his
he's
natural,
a totally
everything about
person.
him. Yes,
totally believable person. And the thing is, so is everyone else in this movie.
Yes.
I've seen people say, like, criticize the movie, saying like all these people are just shitbags. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're just not idealized versions of people. They're just what people are actually like. Like, Julia Garner's character is a little bit of a mess, but you know what? Sometimes good people are a little bit of a mess.
Yes.
Josh Brolin is very angry and aggressive and being kind of a dick sometimes, but as the movie rolls along, you realize he's just a guy looking for his kid. I guess it's just a man trying to find his son. Like, you might not always be super tactful if you were trying to find your son.
No, absolutely not.
You know what I mean? Like you might lose your temper. You might yell at people who don't deserve it. You might flip out a little bit and make a scene here and there if you were in his position. And like Austin Abrams, like that character, like he's a junkie, but like it's also like he's just a guy who's got a drug addiction. That happens to people.
Yeah.
That's a really good aspect of this movie, is like all of these characters are just human beings.
Yeah, and that's what makes them so relatable, as opposed to what we were talking about with fucking ScarJo in Jurassic World. Like,
very much the opposite.
Nobody talks like that. Nobody acts like that. That's why it feels so disconnected. That's why you don't care about any of those fucking characters. Versus this, where like when shit goes down, you're like, fuck, god damn it, not him.
Right. Like, I didn't want that to happen. And you care about everyone in the movie. You care about the kids. This movie has a villain that I think is just awesome and is going to stand the test of time. And the movie has I don't want to spoil what the actual thing is that's causing everything in the movie, but I'll just say, like, that approach, that sort of realism within an unrealistic circumstance that they brought to that, I think is so cool.
Yeah.
And I want to see more like that. I want to see more people bringing that like what if instead of everything being so whimsical and weird, we actually just brought this unreal thing into the real and we told it from that perspective? Like, what if one day you just walked into a kitchen and that was happening and it was real?
Yeah.
How would that make you feel? I think that's a really fun way to approach those things. I love that it did it that way. I think this cast is amazing. I think Julia Garner rules and is a movie star. I think Josh Brolin, he's so good for these roles where he's got to be kind of scary and kind of a tough guy, but he's also got to be kind of soft and kind of be a dad. Like, he can just do that stuff so effortlessly. Such a charismatic cast, such an excellent villain. And I was just so engaged with like you were saying earlier, I was just so engaged with everything that was happening. The whole movie, I was just totally locked in and couldn't wait to find out what happened next And I've seen people complain about the ending. I thought it was totally satisfying. Really love this movie. Another one that I think will stand the test of time, and I think that Zach Krager is a real new voice in horror. And it's interesting, similar to Bring Her Back, I didn't like Barbarian very much. I thought Barbarian was only okay, but I was like, but I'm interested to see what this guy does next because I think he's very talented and he has big upside, and I think he just knocked this out of the park.
Yeah. I enjoyed Barbarian. Similarly, I stayed away from, and I managed to not have anything spoiled for me going into that, and I didn't see it for a while until after it came out. So when that movie does take a turn, I was like, "Oh fuck, what have we gotten ourselves into here?" But it does there's a several points in that movie where my suspension of disbelief is broken, particularly towards the end when a certain character falls from the top of a water tower and then is pretty much okay afterwards. If I'm remembering this correctly, I remember it being kind of a like, I don't think a person would survive that sort of thing.
When I watched that movie in theaters, after that moment, a guy behind me stood up and said loudly to his friends, "This movie sucks. I'm leaving."
Yeah. Too bad it was pretty much all over after that. Like, there wasn't much afterwards. But
yeah,
that's, you know what? I am so happy with a mediocre freshman movie if
hell
it
yeah,
means we don't have to deal with the sophomore slump. I feel like
hell yeah.
so much of the time with all these horror directors, we get just that bam flash in the pan. That first one is just like a knock out of the park, and then everything trying to follow that up is just trying to chase that lightning, and they never quite can. So I'd much rather see an auteur slowly ramp up into greatness, and I really do feel like with Zach Krager, we're only seeing the beginning of some really great stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, man, Weapons, like, obviously, like, Sinners is the movie of the year. Like, there's no way around that. But Sinners is so much more than just like a horror movie, which we will talk about. Spoiler alert: Sinners is going to be on at least one of our lists. But like, Weapons was the horror movie of the year for me, and I feel that it's more of a thriller most of the time, but there is certainly some pretty horrific events in Weapons, and I do just feel that it was like, when I think about something that was really special, like, hopefully not lightning in a bottle, but kind of feels that special, I'm thinking about Weapons in that regard.
I would say that I think Weapons is the horror movie of the year for me as well.
Yeah. Okay, so that was my fifth, your fourth. We're going to my fourth now, which is, I got so into Weapons that I forgot what I had here. Oh yeah, 28 Years Later. Just a goddamn gorgeous fucking movie, man. And this movie was shot on iPhones. I don't understand. For a sequel that was, 20 years in the making, more
Yeah,
so,
25
25
years.
years,
Mhm.
man, worth the wait. You don't really get to say that. And I love how it still feels like the first movie, but it is a insanely different film. Different characters, different themes, different story. Um, one of probably my favorite turn from Aaron Taylor Johnson in this movie. I thought he was pretty spectacular. Ray Fiennes is obviously uh, a
Who's Ray
god.
Fiennes? Yep.
Is
Yep.
it was it Jodie Comer who played the mom? She's also I've yet to see even an inkling of what a bad performance might look like from her. So, and then the young man who, again, I apologize, I don't know his name, but he is the lead of the film. Uh, just an excellent cast, and pardon me here. Da, da, da. Oh god damn it, Alfie Williams. There we go.
Yeah.
Um, I think he was one of those unknowns. This is his first type of role thing too, and he's just carries the whole film. Yeah, dude, the cinematography is great. The score, man, I had this score on repeat for like 2 weeks after the movie after I saw the movie. I'm really interested to see what the sequel holds, especially since the sequel seems to be getting as good, if not better, reviews than than this film. And I think that's quite a feat because I don't think any of us were expecting 28 years later to be as good as it was. And I also feel that it was a fairly divisive movie. I think the ending of that movie is quite a head turn from the rest of the movie that it was.
We call it quite a head scratcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Be like, why
but
did this movie just turn into Power Rangers for
yeah,
30 seconds?
exactly.
That's all.
Very, very odd, but obviously they know what they're doing. So,
Sure.
but yeah, man, I just thought this was a gorgeous film from start to finish. And I don't know, I haven't rewatched it yet, but I do have this feeling that it's one of those movies that I'll be able to throw on, kind of like fall asleep to and wake up and be in kind of like a haze. That sequence where they're running from the alpha like across trying to beat the tide coming in is one of the most visually stunning sequences I've seen in a film in a long time, and I was just really impressed by it. Thoughts on 28 years later?
28 years later is very good. It's well written. It's everything about it's good. Um, I'm a big proponent of Aaron Taylor Johnson. I think he's an incredibly underrated actor. I think he's every time he's challenged to actually be really good, he's always risen to the challenge. I think Ralph Fiennes is obviously a legend. It's it's a good film. Shouts to the guy who was cast as the alpha because he has an unusually large wang. I think that's so funny and such a good creative decision, like that I would never have made ever, and I never will in my life. But to just be like, cast that guy and let's sure we get lots of shots of it flopping around.
Yep.
That's hilarious. Good movie, impressive all the way around. I didn't really love watching it, and I don't see myself watching it again because without spoiling it, this movie is secretly not really about zombies. It's about a very specific real life thing, like the actual core of what the movie is about is a specific real life thing about a boy experiencing a specific thing, and I have experienced that thing, and I didn't know that the movie was going to be taking me through that again, and it wasn't really something I felt like doing.
Yeah.
So, not a movie I really see myself watching again. Just because not subject matter that I have a lot of interest in revisiting. But an incredibly well-made film on all levels by everybody. I Bold creative decisions. Like I said, you got the alphas wiener flopping around. You got the movie turns into Power Rangers at the end. I mean, really a bold film that I think is very impressive. And I cannot wait to see what Nia DaCosta has done with the sequel here.
Yeah. If there's anything in there that can scare me as much as just like that horizon shot of all the infected just kind of coming over the hill with their silhouettes. Yeah. Still, I remember seeing the trailer and seeing that shot and just being like, nope, fuck that. That is my nightmare right
Hell
there.
no.
Yeah. So yeah, that sequence in the movie was fucking scary. So cool. Well, what is your third favorite movie of 2025?
My third movie on my list here is Companion.
Nice.
Yeah. Now Companion is could be classified as a horror movie. I think it's a little bit of a horror movie. Most people call it a science fiction thriller.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a really big science fiction guy, and especially science fiction that is like fun and entertaining. That's not just trying to circle jerk about how smart it is.
Mm-hmm.
I really love good, entertaining science fiction, and this movie is the kind of thing we don't get anymore. I feel like movies like this were very popular in like the 70s, even like the 80s, and they just kind of stopped doing these. And so this film stars Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid. Are we spoiling the premise of this movie here? Because this is a tough one to talk around.
Well, I think the trailers already did
kind of did
part where, she's a robot, so we can spoil that much.
So here's a okay. So yeah, disclaimer, she's a robot. Sorry, guys. It's about a young woman who is dating the man of her dreams, only to discover that she is in fact not a young woman, but she is a love bot. She's a companion robot that has been programmed to love him. And him and a bunch of his dumbass friends have decided to try and use her to stage a murder where they're going to steal a bunch of money from a random innocent person. And hijinks ensue. But this is a horror movie, a thriller movie from the perspective of the robot, of the love robot, that is sentient and comes to the terrifying realization that her life is a lie and that her boyfriend is trying to delete her essentially and use her to get away with murder. This movie is hilarious. It has excellent comedy throughout. It's got very scary moments. It's got very tense moments. It's got very human characters. It's got a great cast. Sophie Thatcher is our lead as Iris. I think this young lady is so underrated. I think she's very talented. I think she's magnetic. And I think she's a movie star in the making. She's got a film coming up with Nicholas Winding Refn of Drive fame. Ooh. That's her next movie. Yeah, I think this young lady is going to be a big deal. Jack Quaid is in this film as the evil boyfriend in question. We are used to Jack Quaid playing likable, and in this movie he plays very much the opposite, and he's really good at it. He's very impressive as this sort of pathetic scumbag enemy in this movie. And Lucas Gage, you familiar with Lucas Gage, bud? So he was in Smile 2,
yeah,
and he plays the other love robot.
Yeah, he's very
Yeah,
good in this.
he's really really strong in this movie. And there's just so much personality in this movie. There's so many sequences. There's the sequences where she plays around with her language abilities, like what
Yeah.
languages she can speak and understand. And they play around with like the idea of going all the way back to like science fiction writers like Isaac Asimov, who created this idea that robots would have these sort of universal laws, and so ways that she can sort of deal with and circumvent these sort of universal laws. um, I just thought this was one of the freshest movies I've seen in a long time. Like just such a fresh, unique, fun movie, and I don't see anyone talking about it this year, which I find pretty disappointing. I think it deserved more love. I think it deserved more attention, and I am very much in love with this movie. Going to be talking about it a lot. It's a debut filmmaker. The man's name is Drew Hancock.
Hmm. He
He
wrote and
is
directed it, if I remember right.
Yes. So Drew Hancock wrote and directed this. He wrote a script that Zach Krager found, and Zach Krager liked the script and was going to direct the movie. And then as they collaborated for him to direct the movie, he kept changing things that Drew Hancock was like, no, not that. This is what I've heard, by the way. I don't have direct information on this, but I have read this from what seemed like reputable sources. Drew Hancock was basically telling him, like, no, don't change that. No, don't change that. No, don't change that. And Zach Krager was like, do you want to direct this movie? Like, decided, like, all right, I'm going to produce this. You're going to direct your scripts because it's clearly your movie. I think that was the right choice because I think this guy's got a lot of potential, and I really love this movie.
Yeah, I agree. Though I will say that Halloweenies did have companion on their top 10 list. So
Atta
again, another
boys.
shout out
Shouts to
to my
Halloweenies.
favorite podcast there. But you're not alone, is all I'm
Glad to
trying
hear
to
it.
tell you.
We're in good company.
Yeah, fucking cool movie, man. I wish that we had that they it is a really hard movie to market without giving
Yeah.
anything away. But
Yeah.
man, would it have been cool had I been able to go into it not knowing about the robot aspect. Um because that would have been a fucking revelation in and of itself, which I think it was very much supposed to be in the movie. Um
Yeah. You in the script, it certainly feels like it is. Yeah.
yeah. Uh but yeah, dude, just great. And the way that it works is that it's not the only, there's multiple twists in this movie that keep it
Right.
you going, oh my god, that too and that too.
Yeah.
I love that our hero is the robot and our villains are the humans. I think that's a very fresh take, something that we don't haven't seen. I think it actually helps in terms of a lot of our anxieties in regards to artificial intelligence. Gives us hope that, yeah, hey, maybe they're not gonna kill us all, and maybe we'll just end up killing ourselves because that's probably what we'll do anyways. But yeah, man, you hit the nail on the head. Sophie Thatcher, I'm just she's your word magnetic is apt. You can't not watch her. She's so good at expressing emotion
Yeah.
in ways that feel very much like she's not overselling it, if
Mhm.
that makes sense. Like it feels very personable, her acting style. I Did you see Heretic?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that trio in Heretic is really fucking good. Love
That's
Heretic, and
that's another
she's
good movie. That's
yeah, that's
no
a
shouts.
really really good movie, and she's
Mhm.
fantastic in it. I think I watched that maybe like a month or so, maybe even less, uh, between that and me seeing Companion. So I was just kind
Well,
of being
they
like,
only came out a couple months apart.
Yeah, I
It was
think
like Heretic came out in November, and then Companion came out in
Yeah.
January. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of us saw them very close together like that. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think it would make for a very interesting double feature to watch this and Terminator back to back. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hell
We'll do
yeah.
that. We'll do that at the Johnny Horror Drive-In one of these days.
That's a great one. I love it.
Okay. My number 3 for the year is Sinners. It is like probably the most talked about movie of the year. So I don't think we need to go into it much more than what everybody already knows. It's a masterpiece from start to finish. Michael B. Jordan just killing it with a dual role that has so much nuance to each character that they're not like these, oh, like one wears black, one wears white. They do have slightly different colors, but they are very similar in a lot of ways, in ways that I feel like brothers would be, especially identical twin brothers.
Yeah.
But they do have their minute differences that make them individual characters. And I think that is a very fucking fine line to walk.
I agree.
To do that just right. And I think he does. I mean, Ryan Coogler just give that man whatever he wants. Let him do whatever he wants.
Oh,
I think
they're going to, brother.
I think he has carte blanche now. I think he
They're
can do
going
whatever
to,
he
yeah.
wants.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he keeps on knocking it out of the park, it's like him and Nolan basically that have the keys to the kingdom. So that I'm so excited to see whatever he does, whether it's genre related or not, but he clearly has an affinity for horror because the references are just all over the place in this movie. The horror is great. It's been a minute since we've seen like a good vampire movie, like in a blockbuster movie, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. Quite some time.
I don't even know if I would consider like Nosferatu like exactly the same because I feel like those are two different beasts. Like that is a fucking great vampire movie, and yes, it was a big blockbuster movie, but it just doesn't feel like
it's like a gothic horror movie though.
Yeah, like the event,
yeah,
sort of thing that Sinners is and was. And obviously the music aspect of it, the racial element of it, it's all 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 movie. So again, like I said, I don't need to expound upon it any more than what everyone has been saying the months since it came out. I will say that I'm sure it will get nominated for Academy Awards, and I'm sure it will not win anything big. The biggest one it'll probably win is screenplay, and I think that if they don't give it best picture, because I think it is probably the best picture of the year, no matter what anybody wants to fucking say, the Academy can go fuck off, because Sinners is the movie of the year. Like, there's just no way around it. I'm sorry. So that's my piece on that. Your thoughts on Sinners, sir?
I have
it's okay.
I have a more complicated relationship with it than you do, for sure. I definitely think it deserves to be in consideration for Best Picture. I would definitely give it Best Picture over the movies that I think are going to be ahead of it in votes.
Yeah.
I don't think it would get my best picture vote personally. And it's funny because the movie that would is not on my list.
Okay, then what is that? What is the best picture then?
Begonia.
Oh yeah.
I think that's best picture of the year. But and I have a more complicated relationship with Sinners. I think that people came out talking about Sinners in a way that was a little bit too grandiose and with Sinners, I see much more of like an 8 out of 10 or 8.5 out of 10 kind of movie. Very good, like great even, but just like for me, a lot of the moments of humor don't land. I think some of the moments of dialogue are like bad. I don't think the action sequences ever live up to the buildup. I don't think they're ever as good as they should be for a movie with this budget and as strong of a buildup as it got. And I think that people just talked about this movie like they hadn't seen a movie this good in decades. And I think that's just not true. That said, when I first heard about this movie, and they were like, yeah, Ryan Coogler is going to do a 1930s gangster period piece about vampires, I was like, sign me the fuck up. And when I saw that it was a juke joint movie that was basically going to be his own version of a From Dusk Till Dawn type of film, I was like, hell yeah, dude, give me that movie, inject it into my veins. And obviously I love this movie. Of course I love this movie. This movie is so awesome. This movie is it's a 1930s gangster movie. It's a Jim Crow era America movie about, race and the history of the United States. It's a movie about the Delta Blues, and it manages to be all of those very culturally relevant and interesting things while being a scary, dope vampire movie. This movie rocks. It's such a fresh movie. Such good performances. Michael B. Jordan really plays three characters because he plays Smoke and Stack and Vampire, right?
Yeah.
Everyone else is amazing. Wunmi Masako, Haley Steinfeld, Jamie Lawson is great in this movie. The kid that plays Preacher Boy, who was a complete unknown before this, is great in this movie. The music is great, and most of the movie is just excellent. I think it's got so much personality. I think it's so fresh and original. I think it had an incredible cultural impact. Everyone was talking about this movie, and everyone loved this movie. My only reservation is I just didn't notice anyone talking about the flaws, and that made me just like a little uncomfortable. That like I didn't notice anyone pointing out like that joke didn't land, and that joke wasn't funny, and that bit of dialogue wasn't very good, and those things were present in the movie. So I don't think it was perfect. I don't think it was like the masterpiece. I don't think it's Ryan Coogler's magnum opus. But I think it's an awesome movie, and certainly one of the best, one of my favorite, one of the best movies I've seen this year. I honestly just left this off my list, like strictly because it's the movie that's getting all of the talk and all the buzz this year.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to talk about something else. But
Yeah.
It is a great movie. It's one of my favorite movies this year. I do love Ryan Coogler, and I'm always rooting for the
guy. Excuse me. Cool. Yeah. And we are very much on the same page then. All right. So that was 3. So it's your second movie then. Second favorite movie.
Cool. All right, so for me, that comes to Wake Up Dead Man.
Oh, really? Nice.
Mm-hmm. Rian Johnson's threequel film in the Knives Out series or franchise. This film theoretically, it stars Daniel Craig, but it really stars Josh O'Connor, and a star-studded cast. Anthology cast, as always, one-off. This mystery brings us to do you remember what part of the country they were in?
Sure don't.
Small town America is where it brings us.
Yes.
Small town America to a little Catholic church and a young Catholic priest named Father Judd, who is doing everything he can to bring faith and charity to this toxic little church when there is a murder that upends this community and puts him in the crosshairs of local law enforcement. And it's up to our boy, the great Benoit Blanc, to save him. This movie is hilarious, as all of the Knives Out films have been. It's written beautifully. It's whip smart, like every Ryan Johnson script has ever been, and it is more poignant than the other films. It's really weird. This might be my favorite. This might be my favorite like Christian movie ever made. Um, which is a weird thing for me to say because I don't have a whole lot of favorite Christian movies. But at the core of this movie is this young priest who is such a good person with such um he has such genuinely altruistic intentions. Like he really means well for everyone else. He really practices what he preaches. He really means what he says. He takes that cloth seriously, and he takes what he stands for very seriously in a way you just don't see portrayed in film very often.
No, not anymore, anyways.
Not anymore. And that part of the movie really did affect me. And I thought Josh O'Connor was just so special in his rendering of that character in such a believable way. In fact, so believable that he reminded me of a preacher that you and I used to know and you and I used to work with. A friend of mine,
Kevin.
Kevin. He reminded me very much of my old friend Kevin. Shouts out to the Reverend Kevin if you ever hear this podcast. But yeah, movie definitely affected me in a deep way. In that way, just seeing this good person genuinely wanting to help and coming at things from a genuinely altruistic perspective rather than political maneuvering and looking to get his the way many people in various clergies are actually doing. And then of course, the murder mystery was very elaborate and tricky and confusing and much almost more silly and kind of mousetrappy than in the other movies. The murder mysteries were much more straightforward in the other movies. This one was a lot more silly, but it's just the movie is so much fun to watch and it's so well written that I just never minded how silly it got, and the cast is just so strong. You have Josh Brolin playing the asshole priest who is established at the church that he's sent to. You have Jeremy Renner, Kaylee Spaney,
Glenn Close.
Glenn Close. My God, I mean, what a stacked cast. I can never remember the guy's name, and I know him from a million other roles, but I always go back and call him Sandman.
Oh, the guy who plays the like author, right?
No, the guy who plays the husband in the garage. He played Sandman.
Oh yeah, duh, Sandman. Thomas Hayden Church.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thomas, the great Thomas Hayden Church is in this movie. Mila Kunis plays a sheriff for some reason. That's like the one, or she plays a police chief, which is like the one role in the movie where I'm like, why did you cast her there? But yeah, like all of Ryan Johnson's Knives Out movies, it lampoons society and it lampoons certain kinds of people, but it does so in a way that's always genuinely funny and totally fair game criticism. So I liked all of that. And yeah, just a hell of an entertaining movie that made me very happy. And we are not getting another Knives Out Benoit Blanc movie next from Ryan Johnson, but I am looking forward to when we do. Did you see this movie, Johnny?
I did. I did. I enjoyed it. Obviously, like you said, Josh O'Connor steals the show, and that's
He's amazing.
Kind of a feat to steal it from Daniel Craig, especially when Daniel Craig is just oozing charisma as Benoit Blanc as he does.
Yeah.
So that was really a joy. I agree. It does the sort of murder mystery aspect of it all is very like over the top and silly, but it's a very fun movie, and I enjoy a good murder mystery. I this is superior to Glass Onion by a mile for me. And I think I might even like it a little bit better than the original Knives Out, because this one, I don't know, this one just feels very I don't know, maybe it's because it's just in the small town of it all. It feels a little bit cleaner to me, a little not as all over the place as the other two movies are. Um, as much as I love Chris Evans in that first Knives
Yep.
Out, but yeah, man, I had a lot of fun watching this movie, uh, and I am also looking forward to the next time we get a Knives Out flick. So, um, my second favorite film of the year, however, is not exactly what you would call a walk in the park. You would, however, call it a long walk, though.
Hey.
Um, there we go. I got myself a nice little seg there. Uh, yeah, man, this was not um my number two. Sinners was going to be my number two, but the more I really thought about it, the more it struck me how important this movie is in this day and age, how prescient it is, and how much I really, really loved it. And it's weird to call this movie a hangout movie because people are literally getting shot. But when I think about it, I just think about all these guys just hanging out, walking together, and I think about them laughing together. Like that's what I think about when I think about the long walk. And it's really fucking depressing all at the same time. But to me, I don't know. It's obviously talking about much grander and bigger things, but at the basis, I think of the long walk as life, where we're all going to die, but we have to try and make the best of it and last as long as we can, basically. And I don't know, man. This movie was really, really special to me. I don't even think I realized how special it was when I first watched it. It's just been me like listening to the soundtrack over the last couple of months and me coming back to it, listening to podcasts and people talk about it. Um, I really, really liked The Long Walk. I found it to be a phenomenal film with arguably some of the best acting I've seen from a group of young men in like a long time. This cast is so good, so charismatic, so charming, and even the people that aren't necessarily likable characters, you still end up caring about them and feeling bad for them
All except for
when
one.
yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's I'm just like, I mean, it really does say something when, like, at the end of the day, like, your weakest link in the movie is Mark Hamill.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, man, this movie is just really great. And if you haven't seen it, like, it's in a dystopian future, past, present, who the fuck knows, but every year a group of young men are thrown together to walk as long as they can, basically. And when they stop walking, they get shot, and whoever's left at the end is the winner, and that is the name of the game. I don't want to say anything more about it because there's nothing more that needs to be said. That's the movie in a nutshell, and it is absolutely worth every minute of your time. Cannot recommend it highly enough. What did you think of The Long Walk, Kalen?
Um, I think The Long Walk is easily one of the best movies of the year. Easily and clearly one of the best movies that came out this year. I think it was a beautiful film. It hit me so deeply emotionally, this movie. Like it really fucking got me, man. Like it put me through it. Um I think that Cooper Hoffman is special.
Yeah.
I think that David Johnson is special. I think that J.T. Molnar wrote an excellent adaptation of Stephen King's story. And I think that this is just a really impressive film. And there's nothing easy about it. There's nothing cheap. There's no tricks here.
Yeah.
You can't fake this. You just had to do it excellently to make it excellent, because it's just dudes walking and talking, and occasionally someone gets shot. Like,
Yeah.
you had to have the script, you had to have the actors, you had to have the director, you had to have everything to pull this off. There was no, there's no action sequence to distract the audience from how bad the movie is. There's no beautiful women to distract the audience from how bad the movie is. There's nothing. It's just, here it is. And I thought it was excellent. Absolutely commendable. Love this film. The reason I left this off my list, and I thought about this being on my list because this is another movie. This is getting no conversation. This is in nobody's top 10 list. This is in nobody's best picture list. And I'm like, y'all are lame and terrible. Like, this is clearly one of the best movies of the year. Much better than some of the movies that are consistently on those lists.
1000%.
Yeah. I think it's one of the very best movies of the year. The only reason I didn't add it to my own personal list was this is not a movie that I'm going to revisit very often.
Yeah.
I probably won't watch this movie again for like 10 years because it just made me so sad to watch this film. For those who don't know, by the way, this was written by Stephen King during the Vietnam War. And in a weird way, it's a war movie. Yeah. Even though it's not, it's just a bunch of kids walking. It's still a war movie. And it made me feel the kind of sadness that war movies make me feel.
Yeah.
And I don't like watching movies like that. And that's the only reason I didn't add it to my list. But in terms of the best feature films that were released this year, hell yeah, this is way up there. And I'm grateful you put it on there. I'm glad we got to talk about this one.
Yeah. I agree. It 1000% feels like a war movie. I think that's part of one of the reasons why, like, I connected with it so much. I think I've always enjoyed war movies for mostly for like a specific reason, because there does seem to be in almost all good war movies that I enjoy camaraderie, which is something that I really connect with in The Long Walk. Again, like, when I think about it, I think about the friendship of those two characters.
And of several of these characters, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of friendship happening in this movie.
The Three Musketeers, as they call themselves, even though there's four primary leads. Yeah, man. It feels, when I watch it, it reminds me of Saving Private Ryan, when the group of the guys are all just like walking and talking, knowing that they're probably going to die, whatever their next mission is, wherever they, get ambushed or, have to take on somebody next. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, this one really kind of climbed up the list for me, because the more I thought about it, I was like, no, man, this is a really special movie. And it's one of those movies that, like, I don't know, when I talk to people, if they haven't seen it, I'll be like, oh my God, you have to watch it. It's going to be like one of those movies that a lot of people won't have seen. So I get to share something,
but they're going to like
special with it. It's whether they like it or not, it's going to hit them,
right.
It's going to have,
maybe like's not the right word, but you know what I mean?
It's going to have a profound effect on them, I would imagine. And if it doesn't, then they are sociopaths. So,
yeah.
All right, man. Well, what is your number one movie of the year?
My number one movie of the year, surprising absolutely nobody at all, is Superman.
Hey.
It's interesting. Superman is another movie that's getting absolutely no love as we come to the end of the year, being left off of a lot of lists. It's funny. I remember not long after Superman coming out, I was listening to podcasts that were like actually like smart, like well-educated sort of cinephile types. And they had no problem being like, yeah, this is one of the best movies of the year. It's got, it's this fun, silly, whimsical, colorful movie, but it's got like real thematic depth and incredible performances. And yeah, it's absolutely one of the best movies of the year. And now as we come to the end of the year, I'm seeing like people leaving this movie off top 30 lists. And I'm just like, I don't need this kind of negativity in my life. Y'all are so fucking fake and boring. This movie is the most rewatched movie on the Letterboxd app of the year. It is the James Gunn was the most watched director of the year on the Letterboxd app, ahead of like Christopher Nolan and Ryan Coogler and Paul Thomas Anderson and Martin Scorsese and
so
all the
all
other
those
big...
film fanatics and all their bullshit on the internet, it's just lies.
They're all rewatching Superman obsessively, talking about how people who like Superman don't actually know cinema. Yes, it is. It's lies. It's bullshit. So, yeah, I love this movie. I genuinely think I totally understand why anyone would not have this as like a Best Picture nominee or whatever, and that's totally fine. But I also genuinely feel like this was one of the better movies that came out this year. I do think that it's a thematically rich movie. I think that for a movie that has such a simple premise on the surface, I think there's a lot bubbling beneath the surface. And I think there are political themes and messages and sort of personal and spiritual sort of themes and messages about who we are as people and who we can and should be, and sort of the challenges we face, and the kind of cynicism that we face from people, and the way that like casual cruelty has kind of become the norm. Cynicism and hopelessness have become the norm, and it's kind of gone out of style to be hopeful, to be good, to be altruistic, to be brave, to stand up for other people. I think there's a lot to this film. And I think it's a movie we needed in this time. I think it was a deeply culturally impactful film, especially in North America, where it was one of the major box office successes of the year. And like I just said, the most rewatched movie on Letterboxd in 2025, sitting at a 3.9 on Letterboxd, which anyone who doesn't use that app, a 3.9 is really high on that app. There's a lot of people on there looking, doing their best to look smart and poo-poo every popular movie that they can. So, yeah. Great film, great interpretation of the first and the best superhero. Incredible cast. I mean, obviously, David Corn Sweat embodied Superman. Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult was incredible. Rachel Brosnahan embodied Lois Lane in a way we haven't seen probably since Margot Kidder.
I think she did better than Margot Kidder.
I agree. I just wasn't going to be the one that said it.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, dude, I think I've been on record saying that when I saw the trailer, I didn't know anything about who anybody was who had been cast other than, I knew who Superman was, but just saw a girl walking in whatever. And I was like, that's Lois Lane. Like, obviously it's Lois Lane. That's the most Lois Lane looking person I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
It's true. Yep.
So yeah, no, hey man, no, I this is a movie that we have an entire podcast about. So please, if you want to hear us elaborate on our thoughts and hear Kalen gush even more,
go deep on
please. We have at least 2 hours of content.
Hey, you gush plenty in that podcast, sir.
I do gush quite a bit. Yeah, man, so much fun. And I had a lot of fun showing it to my son. This is his very first Superman movie, so that was pretty special as well. Great movie. Super excited for the sequel. That's gonna be rad. Can't wait to see what they're gonna do. Possibly Superman Lex Luthor team up. That could be cool.
Yep.
And speaking of cool things, my number one film of the year that I just couldn't believe I was like waiting for something to knock it off or for myself to come to my senses, but
Mhm.
I will say that I rewatched all of the trailers nonstop in the lead up to the movie, and I continue to watch the trailers after I saw the movie. And it is the only movie on my list that I have rewatched since seeing it in the theaters. And that movie is F1, the movie, starring Mr. Brad Pitt. Um, and this was the movie that I also saw with Brian, and we said instead of saying that we are going to go see Formula One, we said we're going Brad Pittin. And then
We're gonna go see the Brad Pitt movie. Yeah.
we said after the fact that we had a lot more fun Brad Pittin than we did Tom Cruise in this year. Yeah, man, we saw this in D box, which is your seats move, and we saw it on in it wasn't IMAX, it was like 4D or whatever the other big one is, something like that. At the Collection, whatever their big
Okay.
theater
Like the
thing is.
Cinemark XD.
Yeah, XD is what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
saw it on that with the D box, the seats that move, and that was the best viewing experience I had all year. That to have the seats move while you were in the car with the way that that movie was filmed. I didn't realize it until we watched it. We watched the I watched it the day after Christmas at home with my family, threw it on, and you know, didn't realize it until like we paused that it's like a 3-hour movie. Because it didn't feel like that when we watched it in the theater, and it didn't feel like that when we were watching it the day after or day after Christmas, but it was just, pausing it and seeing that, oh wow, we're an hour in and there's still an hour and 45 minutes to go. What do you know? um I just this is the type of movie that you go to the movies for, that sort of dumbass phrase that you hear, but the racing of the car element was so freaking cool. Brad Pitt is as charismatic and charming as he ever is. I never get tired of watching that man do his thing. The story is as basic and plain as you can expect from a movie like this. Underdog team has to work together, overcome their struggles to try and win the race, basically. That is
Rugged
the
old
movie.
cowboy.
Yeah, but it's done in such an entertaining way, and it's not overly complicated. The characters are fun and interesting. I like being in that world. And yeah, man, it's a movie that as soon as it's done, I'm down to throw it back on again. And for me to say that about a 3-hour movie, that's something, man. For me to say that about a fucking racing movie, like my favorite movie of the year is not a horror movie. I find that to be a very rare thing for me. I just had a blast watching this movie, man, and I honestly can't wait to watch it again. And that's the reason why it's my number one movie of the year. Did you see F1?
Um, Regrettably,
You
I didn't see it in
bastard.
theaters.
Did
I've
you see it
watched it.
afterwards?
Yeah, I
Okay,
watched it.
good.
And I have a pretty decent home theater setup, so I
You
didn't
do.
miss the entire experience. I did get some of that theater experience at
Did
home.
Sandy move the couch for you? Because if she didn't move the couch for you, you don't know what you're missing, bro.
No, yeah, she did. She put a car jack under the couch and she just jacked me up and then dropped me. It was quite a workout for her, but she stayed on top of that. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
goddamn. That's good.
um, let's see. Yeah, this movie's a blast. It's so much fun to watch. Old school, like what I love about this movie, and it's very similar to Top Gun Maverick, and it's obviously it's the same filmmaker, Joseph Kosinski, it's just an old school blockbuster
Yeah.
with practical effects, shot in camera for real, with old dudes who we love being cool as shit.
Yeah.
And it's just exhilarating, fun movies to watch, man. And after the enormous success of Top Gun Maverick, I was rooting for this movie. I wanted to see this movie be good, and I wanted to see it make money because I want them to make old school 90s blockbusters that are shot in camera. I want these movies, right?
Yeah.
So I was glad to see, and genuinely felt terrible that I didn't get to the movies to see it because I wanted to support this movie. Life was hectic and I just didn't find the moment. Especially in that crowded summer, it was tough. But but it was a huge smash success, and I'm really happy for that. I loved this movie. I mean, it knows it, like, it's such a simple story, but it knows exactly what it's doing. It's going, all right, we have to tell just a good enough story in between these racing scenes that all of these racing scenes feel earned and we have the audience invested.
Yeah.
And it does that pretty deftly. And it's like, and it knows what it's doing. Like, Kerry Condon's character literally calls Brad Pitt's character a rugged old cowboy who doesn't play by anyone else's rules.
Yeah.
Like, it's completely aware of what kind of movie it's being, of what kind of thing that it's doing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we know what this is, but follow, like, take a walk with us. You're gonna like it, Yeah. And we did. We liked it. I think Brad Pitt was a great choice in this role. I had heard that Tom Cruise was gonna be the lead in this one, and while I think Tom Cruise would have been good, I think Brad Pitt was a really good choice for this particular character.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want to see what Joseph Kosinski does next. All I'm curious about is I want to see if he can step away from the crutch of camera on a vehicle as it goes. I want to see him take that camera outside of the vehicle and show me some action scenes that way.
Oh man, he's gonna do a boat movie next. Are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. You know what I mean? I'm going to be there day one for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
F1 was a blast.
Yeah, agreed. Well, shit. All right, recap your top 5 movies for the audience, really quick.
Some movie, some other movie. Let's see. What did I have here? I had Bring Her Back, Weapons, Companion. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man.
Sorry, guys. I've been hitting the head a whole lot. Oh yeah, so I had Bring Her Back, Weapons, Companion, Wake Up Dead Man, and Superman as my 5.
Genre boy over here. And
damn right.
I had Weapons, 28 Years Later, The Long Walk, Sinners, and F1 the movie. And if you had a runner-up, one that you didn't get to talk about but you just want to throw in there, what would it be?
Begonia, which I would probably vote for Best Picture. I think that was a brilliant film.
Yeah, I still need to check that one out.
Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone, and I won't say anything other than to say it is a unique film that is awesome.
Yeah, good to know. My runner-up, Black Phone 2. That movie's just vibes and aesthetic. Music is great. The setting is great. The violence is scary and disturbing, and Ethan Hawke is just, give him more roles like this, please. I just love Ethan Hawke. He is quite easily working his way up to becoming my favorite actor of all time. Everything he does, I'm just enamored by. So yeah, Black Phone 2. We're gonna do a little lightning round here of just some of our favorite other little things from the year. So, Kalen, if you had to pick your favorite character from a movie this year, who and why would that be?
I hate to give a boring answer, but my favorite character from a movie this year was Superman.
Hey, it's an honest answer,
because
right there.
It's the first time I've watched a Superman on the screen where I said, "Wow, that's him." That's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. If I was to choose a favorite character from this past year and it not be Brad Pitt as Sonny Hayes, because I feel like that's just like too obvious of an answer, it would probably be Benicio del Toro
Oh
as
man.
Sensei from One Battle After Another.
Yeah. I mean,
God,
yeah,
he's so
so
fucking good.
yeah.
God damn.
Well,
He's
just like
so
not full, just the police scene, a few
yes.
small beers and the little
Just a
dance.
few small
Like,
beers,
give
man.
that man an Oscar.
Oh my god. Like,
Yeah.
you know how good you have to be in a scene with Leonardo DiCaprio and like not only be like stealing the show, but just like I don't even know who that other guy is. Like, God, he is so I'm gonna use your word again, magnetic in that role. I just
He
loved
is.
it.
He's amazing.
So fucking good.
All right. Well, since you got to bypass your actual favorite character and pick another one,
Yes, please.
I'm gonna say Gladys from Weapons.
Yeah, that's a good fucking answer,
The
man.
great character.
Oh
Just
yeah.
yeah.
I want to see some Halloween costumes this coming year. I
Hell
think
yeah.
that would be very, very interesting. Okay, well, I feel like you might need to double down here because my next question is who's your favorite villain?
Oh no, that's okay. I have another answer for that.
Okay, yeah.
My favorite villain this year was Remick. Jack
Yeah.
O'Connell's Remick in
Yeah.
Sinners. I thought he was great in that role. I thought he was charismatic and terrifying and so fucking cool the way that an evil vampire should be. Yeah. I love Jack O'Connell in that movie.
Yeah.
So good, so scary.
That man's
And,
having a moment right
Ned
now, man.
Lance, huh?
He's having a moment right now, man.
He certainly is. Yeah.
Oi. Okay, so my favorite villain is actually again, if I don't pick uh
The
fucking
grabber.
Captain Lockjaw from One Battle After Another, played by Sean Penn, who
Right.
God, another role that just cracked me up. I was laughing
Yeah.
every time he was on screen.
Yeah.
There was a low budget shark movie that came out this year called Beast of War. It told a somewhat true story of men who were stranded out at sea during World War II and may or may not have encountered sharks. That's about the premise of the story, the truth to it, rather. But in the film, guys get stranded on like a small little raft of sorts and have to deal with starvation, dehydration, being shot at from planes overhead, and a great white shark. And they used a practical shark in it. It all feels very dreamlike. I mean, they're working within the restraints of their budget very well, and it's pretty much just the head of the shark. You know, it's not like a full body shark like it is in Jaws, but nevertheless, the shark is very scary, very menacing, and very well done. And it's been a minute since I've seen a shark movie where the shark actually feels like it's a threat. So that right there, favorite villain. Um, if you had to pick a favorite scene from a movie, what would that be?
So this is a tough one
Yeah.
because you know, the disparate nature of movies.
Yes.
Gosh. I'll give you two.
Yeah, sure.
I'll give you the obvious one, and then if we didn't go with the obvious one, The falling building scene in Superman, the falling
Mhm.
building rescue scene in Superman.
Yeah.
God, I love that. That was peak superhero cinema right there for me. But if I was not being obvious, I would say the phone call scene in Wake Up Dead Man, where Josh O'Connor is on the phone and he's in a hurry and he's selfishly trying to get information. And then there's that
Oh
moment
yeah.
where you see it in his eyes where he remembers who he is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great scene. Yeah. Um. Okay. It's hard to say if this is so much a favorite scene, so much as it is just something that really, really stuck with me. Um. I do think it is cool in the sense of it just going really hard, but the content is very disturbing. Um, it's a little bit of a cheat because it's part of an anthology. So it's from VHS Halloween, and there's a segment in it called Kid Print that deals with uh, a serial killer going after children, and it is very, very disturbing.
Yep.
So to say it's my favorite is not quite right, so much as the lasting impact has stuck with me in a way that uh pretty much no other film has. So I think that's a way of how powerful film can be to have that effect. And it, like I said, it is a very, very disturbing segment and deals with violence toward children. Almost feels out of place in the rest of
I
the
felt
anthology.
I felt like it felt out of place. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like a really fun anthology, and then there's just like this. And you're like,
This,
whoa.
which is, but I also feel that it was without question like one of the most impactful out of all the VHS things that I've
Yeah.
seen. That one was just like fucking hey, all right, cool, you made your point.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so uh, not for the faint of heart. Let's just put it that way. And do you have a favorite score from this year? You can say Superman. It's okay.
But I'm trying to think of something else, Johnny. I'm being a boring podcaster right now.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
man, it's fucking Superman. What do you want to say? I love that
Nothing wrong with
score.
that. Good. I like that score too.
What's your favorite score, Johnny?
Black Phone 2.
Okay.
Black Phone 2. The just the music in that is there's these great it's 80s synth, but it's like 80s synth that is I don't know, like in a very weird low budget like late 70s movie almost if I can try and be that vague about it. Um but there'll be this really really like beautiful music playing when like the kids are like running around playing around, and then you'll see like the grabber's point of view, which again another like violence toward children sort of a thing. Sorry, I feel like I'm really telling the audience that I'm how fucked up I am, but then the music will turn very like weird and um I don't know, like almost sort of like science fiction-esque, like alien sort of music. And it's a very weird dichotomy, but I felt that the score was really powerful in being able to make me feel exactly what the movie wanted me to feel. And then at the very end of that flick, there is a good moment between our two leads where they're kind of thinking about their mom, and there's a beautiful piece that plays called Hope. It's the name of their mom, but obviously it has other meaning as well beyond that. And yeah, I've listened to that track and the track from The Long Walk titled Olson quite a bit. And I find both those pieces of music very moving. So, and final question for a lightning round. We're going so fast over here. Um, if you had to pick a favorite moment from our show from the past year or season, what have you, what would it be?
Can I just say covering The Sixth Sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of figured it was going to be that one.
Yeah.
That was a great episode. And I love
Yeah.
that I got to have you and my dad on at the same time. That was a lot of fun.
I like how all three of us were surprised at how much we still liked it too. Like I thought that
Yeah.
was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm still surprised even now about like how much I was sitting there watching that movie going, God damn, this is a good
This is
movie.
so good. Like why you would tell me this movie was so good?
But yeah, please go listen to our coverage of The Sixth Sense. That was a lot of fun, and we go deep on it. And speaking of going deep, my favorite moment from this past year was getting to do the 50th anniversary coverage of Jaws and uh, hosting that with Kalen and Brian. That was a lot of fun. Actually, we had a good time with you guys on that one. All right, well, that does it for our lightning round. We're wrapping things up here. Just a quick 2.5 hour episode, no big deal. But before we go, Kalen, looking forward to 2026. What are some movies you are excited to see?
So the movies that come to my mind immediately, and I think there's a little bit of a chronological bias here because there's going to be some movies at the end of the year I'm going to be very excited about.
Yeah.
But I think I'm thinking about the summer right now. The number one movie that I'm most excited about this upcoming year is The Return of the King of Hollywood. And I do not mean Christopher Nolan. I mean the one true King of Hollywood, Steven Spielberg. Disclosure Day. That is the movie that I am just so excited about this year. I cannot wait for. I'm so excited to the point of being nervous. Like I want this movie to hit it out of the park so badly. Can't wait for that. Speaking of Christopher Nolan, of course, I can't wait to see The Odyssey. The one of the original stories, and I've loved The Odyssey since I first read it in high school. He has an incredible cast, and I just trust that he's going to do something special with this movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm The Odyssey is kind of like the big one, right?
Mhm.
Like the one that everyone is anticipating this year. I think that's going to be great. I don't think there's any doubt about, there's like talk of people are like, oh, well, it's not period accurate. Who shut the fuck up. Just let Nolan fucking do Nolan. All right. Who gives a shit if it's period accurate?
My biggest thing with that, I mean, I don't think we've ever really been great about period accuracy in movies. So I think that's a weird thing to be hung up on now. But my big thing with that one is just that it's fiction. Like The Odyssey's always been fiction.
Yeah.
Like Poseidon's not real, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
The Cyclops isn't real. So like,
that was my thing too. I was like, who cares?
It's a genre film. Like, let's just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my take on that.
What are your thoughts on Doomsday? Especially now that we've seen some footage.
It's really interesting. I think I mean, there's probably some evidence of it here on this podcast. I've been pretty cynical about Doomsday, and pretty uninterested. And I have to admit that the trailers have gotten me more interested. Seeing Steve Rogers makes me more. Steve Rogers is my favorite character in the MCU. To me, he was one of the two main characters. Like the main characters of the MCU were Tony Stark and Steve Rogers.
Yeah,
those are the main characters. So like you're bringing one of the main characters back. That interests me. That X-Men teaser really interested me.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to see the Fantastic Four in this universe. And this is a weird kind of insider thing, and I don't have any knowledge of what happens in the movie, but I've been watching a few podcasts, and in particular on the John Campea show. John Campea and Robert Meyer Burnett both said that they had this movie as like their 6th most anticipated movie of the year. And then they had studio sources lay out the whole movie for them, spoiled the whole thing, told them everything that happens in the movie. And now they both moved it to number 1 after getting the whole movie spoiled for them. And I've seen a couple other people basically say the same thing. Like they weren't that interested, and then they heard what the movie actually is, and now they're like, "Oh man, I can't wait to see that." So, so I'm getting a little excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got news that we're gonna get Godzilla -0.
Hell yeah.
This coming
November.
year, and that was my favorite movie from, what was it, 2 years ago now? Did that
Yeah,
come out?
2023. That was both of our favorite movie from 2023.
Yeah, that movie just excellent. So I can't help but be really fucking excited about that. Werewolf, obviously.
Absolutely.
Very excited to. We have not gotten you want to talk about vampire movies, we have not gotten a good werewolf movie
in forever,
in a long time.
Yep.
So
with apologies to Lee Winnell.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed that movie for what it was, but yeah, it's definitely not like
not what we hoped for.
Werewolf movies of yonder. Scream 7, I'll be there. I can't exactly say how excited I am for it, but of course I'm going to see it. Something, speaking of Lee Winnell, I don't know if it's the connected shared monster universe anymore or anything like that, but the teaser trailer for The Mummy dropped.
Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
And that looks all kinds of fucked up, and it looks nothing like any mummy movie we've ever gotten before, and I'm here for it. Please, I kind of don't need to see anything else. I'm already sold on it. So, and we don't have to wait that long for it either. I think it comes out in April, which is fucking dope, man.
Yep.
Cool. Yep. Like, give me that teaser, that 1 minute teaser. I'm sold. I don't need to see anything else. Yeah, and then we have Supergirl, which I'm sure will be, I don't know if it'll necessarily hit the highs of Superman, but I'm sure it'll be a good time at the movies for sure.
Just to give a little bit of context to that movie, it's based off of a comic book called Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite superhero comics I've read in the last 10 years. And James Gunn said that the script for that movie was the best script they've gotten. And it's directed by Craig Gillespie, who did movies like I, Tonya and Lars and the Real Girl. And on a more big budget level, he did that Disney movie Cruella, which I thought looked like a piece of shit, and I ended up really enjoying.
Yeah.
So I trust the source material, and I trust this director, and I like this star. So I actually think that this movie might surprise people.
Yeah. I hope so, man.
Yeah. Me too.
Cool, buddy. Well, I'm looking forward to talking to some.
Quick shout out. No one's talking about this movie, and I want us to be on the record talking about it because I think it could be huge depending on what it turns out to be.
Yeah.
David Robert Mitchell, the director of It Follows.
Oh yeah.
He has a film coming out this year called Flowervale Street, and this movie is starring. Who is it starring? Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor. And it takes place in the 1980s, and it's a science fiction like thriller. And no one knows what it's about. Some people are saying there will be dinosaurs, but all we know is it's David Robert Mitchell's biggest budget film he's ever done. It's shot on IMAX cameras for IMAX. It's like a blockbuster that's going to have like a horror science fiction tint to it. And he only made the only two movies of his I've seen are the two main movies he's made are It Follows and Under the Silver Lake, and those movies could not be more different.
Yeah.
And to me are just excellent films. So I can't wait to see what he does with that. And I think if it turns out to be dinosaurs, I think that movie's going to be huge.
Hey man, fingers crossed. We need more dinosaur movies.
We
right?
need dinosaurs, man. And I think he could nail that. I think he could give us like an awesome dinosaur movie. And I think that could be a big, big blockbuster. And lastly, I just want to shout it out one more time. We've talked about it on the podcast, but you and I are both acolytes of Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
We both love the Feet of
Clayface.
Clayface episodes.
Yeah.
Mike Flanagan wrote a horror tragedy thriller based on Feet of Clay, and James Watkins is going to direct it. And it's already shot, but James Watkins directed it, and I think that movie is going to be cool.
Yeah, I do too. I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah.
Give me more stuff in the Batman world, man. I just need more of it.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Kalen, thanks for being on, man. This is a lot of fun. That is our wrap up of 2025, and I hope you guys had as much fun at the movies as we did this past year, rather, because I feel like they're not always that good, and hopefully this coming year will be.
I'm feeling good about 26.
Yeah,
I'm feeling good about 26. Yeah,
I am too. But there's only one way to find out, and we'll just have to go and watch them, and then sit down and talk about them. And we look forward to having those discussions, and hopefully you look forward to listening to us have them. But until then, you kids be good to each other, be half-decent human beings, and we will see you motherfuckers on the flip side. Adios, muchachos.
Peace.